You understand? Now, what I want to do is I want to show you exactly how these people are being used, right? Because I had some groundbreaking discovery on my behalf anyway. I don't know, I might be the last to know these things, but I'm definitely going to share it with the world. This gentleman, Albert Pike, is a very notorious Confederate leader in Confederate ideology. As you know, the Confederate was the fraction of the United States government who wished to keep slavery. I'm in no way insinuating that the Civil War was over slavery, but it was so tied to slavery. It was so bound to the institution of slavery. The reason why the country actually went to war was not over slavery, but slavery was so tied into the alumni banking agenda. It was locked, it was ball and chained to this idea that it had to be uprooted in order to uproot the idea, because this idea was destroying the American dream. You understand? Well, maybe not, but let's go in because I'm going to show you what I mean. All right. Albert Pike, right? Albert Pike, the Confederate general. But let me give you some relationships that you might not know. That Albert Pike was not just a general in the Confederate Army. The Confederacy was majorly tied to the interests of the alumni banking institution. They were also heavily funded by Britain and its interests. Okay. Abraham Lincoln, along with a few other presidents of the United States, was trying to regain control of the country from the money system that had taken root, a deep root in this country. Did you ever wonder why this banking problem has never gone away? Have you ever considered, okay, well, they get rid of the bank. Andrew Jackson, one of his most famous quotes is, "I killed the banks." Okay, so why do they own your country now? Abraham Lincoln tried to kill the banks. But why do they keep coming back? Okay, first of all, you have to understand who they're praying to. You have to understand their gods that they worship. The gods that they worship, normal people don't understand it. And once you begin to understand this, right, and you look at the trends in history, see, the people in those positions, they know that by oppressing a certain group of people in this country, that they get power from their God, because this is an ancient war going on that people don't understand. Okay? This is a Confederate officer. Why is there a Jewish synagogue named after him in his honor? You have to ask yourself, right? Okay, let's proceed, because I don't want to give you too much, but I do want you to look at the thing I have on the right side. Now, Pan, this is one of the most powerful deities in their ideology, right? This is why you keep seeing the face of the goat, okay? Because that's who they worship, the goat man. All right. Now, this gentleman right here laid out the foundation for World War One and World War Two. What does World War One and World War Two have to do with the Confederacy? Well, what it has to do is the American people are being used. That's what's really going on. Okay, this is why the information is so convoluted and colluded, right? It's because, first of all, nobody thinks that it matters. Second of all, the people are being used by these high interest groups to do their will based on what they think, right? This is why you could get I don't want to get this shut down before I get started, so I'm not even gonna get into that. But okay. Now this is the capital of the United States. Okay. This is another structure dedicated to this gentleman. Okay. So you have to understand that, the high officials in this government are all part of the same ideal, right? And those who go against the grain, we know what happens to them, right? But the American people are being used to further this agenda. They're being used through their ignorance of what's really going on, right? Okay, Mr. Albert Pike, the original Ku Klux Klan, founded in Pulaski, Tennessee. Now, if you go look up that name, right, Pulaski, right, you're gonna find out that whoever this town was named after is connected to a certain group. These are all the same people, is what I'm trying to get you to understand. All right. In 1866, the order was disbanded around 1869 by 6 Confederate officers, including 33-degree Scottish Rite Freemason Albert Pike and Nathaniel Bedford Forrest. Now, mind you, there is no controversy with Forrest being a founder, right? But Albert Pike is shrouded in secrecy, is because that these people esteem him in such a high place, right? Because it's an agenda that's going on, right? Now, he was the first imperial wizard of the KKK. Albert Pike, who was a Satanist, held the office of Chief Justice of the KKK while he was simultaneously Sovereign Grand Master of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. Okay, so we have the founder of the KKK, in which a Jewish synagogue is dedicated to him, a Talmudic Masonic Jewish synagogue. Now, this brings a question to me, right? That, you know, it recently hit me, even though internally the question was always there, but it was never verbalized. Did you ever notice how the KKK lays claim that they hate Jews, but they only kill niggas? They hate Jews with a passion, but they only kill niggas. Does anybody besides myself find that strange? Well, I did. I found that unusually abnormal. Like, so I began to look into a certain couple of things, and that these Talmudists are extremely elusive, and they were the power behind basically the whole Confederate idea. These same people are the same idea that initiated the slave exchange. These people go back for centuries implementing and instituting these insidious practices in these civilizations so that they can in turn disintegrate the moral fabric, erecting the fallacy in the earth in praise of their God in opposition to the Creator. This is what's going on. The people are being used for the agenda of these people or these groups, right? And let me show you. Don't lose your focus, because there's a couple other things I need to show you on this page. First, we're going to get Judah P. Benjamin, right? This was another Talmudic interest in the Confederacy, right? And this gentleman right here was the go-to guy for the financing. What I want you to pay close attention to is we're going to get back to the KKK. Now, the KKK was started after the Confederate lost in the war. They were formed during the Reconstruction era of the country. They were formed as a mercenary group, right? This was a mercenary faction formed to reorganize that which was already in place. Okay? This is how the money changers got their hand back in the cookie jar. This is why America controls very little of its wealth. This is why America is in so much debt to this day. It's because these groups were put in place to destroy the integrity and the fabric, to manipulate the people into oppressing a certain group of people. You understand? It's because the God that they serve know who these people are. The people don't know. The people go by what the mainstream intellectual community disseminates. They think that we can't put two and two together, right? And then they add the confusion into it, and if they figure you give them confusion, then that's enough to keep them busy from sun up to sundown. You understand? But these mysteries are being revealed to those that are listening and have ear to hear common sense, right? So let's look at this K, right? Because I looked at the letter K, I said that's interesting. Why would they? You ask, or you Google, why did they use KKK though, right? Well, here we go. Look, K happens to be the 11th letter of the English alphabet, right? So K equals 11 numerically. K plus K plus K equals 11 plus 11 plus 11. And we can do simple math, right? It's not that complicated. When you think about it, you understand what's going on is you people are being manipulated, man. And they're doing things that don't necessarily make sense. But, you know, as long as you have these intellectual mercenaries, right, that are standing and co-signing what's going on and not saying anything about it, you look to them, right? But they're bought. You understand? You have to be able to look at something, to look at a thing, like this picture that I have up here of this hall, right? You have to be able to look at this hall and not just see a table, right? You have to be able to see the outline of the table and what is the picture actually saying. You have to be able to look at the lamp sitting on the table and not just see a lamp. You understand? You have to be able to see the underlying theme. What's going on right before your eyes and underneath your nose, because it's happening. Your country is being taken. It's being usurped. Your spirituality is being sapped and given to another God. You understand?